A Bucking Spurs podcast is brought to you by Eavesdrop Studios Podcast Network at eavesdropstudios.com, where eavesdropping is okay as long as you tell everybody what you heard. Booty, rocking everywhere. I found you, Miss New Booty. Get it together and bring it back to me. What is up, San Antonio Spurs Nation? Cállate la boca and shut up, because we're going to serve you up that hot, juicy, simmering, sizzling plate of nasty as we go ahead and get into the wild west, the dangerous, the filled with the lawless and the gunslingers and the outlaws, that wild west. We're going to go ahead and get into a way too early prediction for the playoffs of the Western Conference. But first, Sire Nova, you got to drop that beat, son.
Tougher, penetrate hard, good passes, shoot with confidence. I want some nasty.
We are now at that time, guys, where we've been shooting up NBA crack all summer long. We've been shooting it up right into our veins. That stuff was filled with adrenaline. It was the rush of speculation and where is this guy going to go, and trades here and free agents are going to sign here. All that stuff that we've been high off of for 2 months is now run out. And that's right. You know what comes next? Withdrawals. Oh, here comes those 2 months of zero NBA news. All the news that we hear now is Kevin Durant talking smack on Twitter. Yeah, what else is new, Kevin? I think you were right, by the way. The Blazers have no chance to win the championship. But did you have to do them like that, Kevin? Did you have to, really laugh at them and do them like that? Give them a little bit of hope. Everybody needs a little bit of hope. These are the days that try men's souls, NBA souls at least. Basketball fans everywhere are going to be sitting on their couch just watching baseball and preseason football. At least an NFL season is coming. An NFL season will be here soon. Fantasy football is upon us. We get to pretend to be GMs for about 13 weeks and maybe win a championship. A fantasy football championship. Yeah, I won one, by the way. I am a fantasy football champion. Hit me up if you need any advice on what to do. Let me tell you a big secret. It's the waiver wire. The waiver wire is where you win championships. Because you're not going to draft everybody good, but you can pick up good players on the waiver wire. Anyways, I digress. Guys, we are now at that point. The dust has settled. The landscape has kind of taken shape, and we can see out into this wild west. We don't care about the East because nobody should. The King was the only reason for us to care about the East, and you know what? He hopped on his horse, saddled up, brought all his gold with him, and you know what? He's now in Lake Showtown, baby. He's now gonna revive Showtime at the Apollo. Or my bad, Showtime, the Lakers Showtime, whatever. I don't care. Go Spurs, go. That's all I care about. Anyways, the West is crazy. Just when we thought we knew what madness was from last year, bringing over Melo from the East, bringing over Jimmy Butler from the East, all these teams got better. We didn't know what was in the future to come. The Great War is still in front of us. Winter is here. Just kidding. Game of Thrones reference for all my GOT lovers. But anyways, the Spurs. We're sitting here looking out into the West with a new perspective on things. We have some new feelings in our guts, don't we? We're moving in with a brand new squad almost. Manu might not come back. I hope Manu comes back. Uno mas Manu. For those of you guys on social media, hashtag Uno mas Manu. But I'll tell you this, I don't want Manu to come back if he's just going to, get hurt and then he has to retire via injury. I'd rather him just retire successful on top and whatnot. Man, I would love to have Manu in practice every day with DeMar DeRozan, Derek White, teaching. Manu's impact doesn't affect, we can't measure his impact via wins or losses. I mean, this guy does it all. He sets the tone. I can go on about Manu forever, and I'm not going to do that. Okay? Because I got other things to say. I got other things that I need to talk about and get off my chest. Like one, the Spurs are going to be better this year than last year. Now, how many games do you think DeMar DeRozan makes a difference? 5 games, 10 games? I think his impact on the team is going to be pretty substantial, if you ask me. You are getting an all-NBA player, a guy who can score by the handful. Yeah, his defense is just okay. We know that. But maybe they really didn't demand a lot of defense from him in Toronto. You ever think about that, media? Spurs haters? He can't defend. Well, maybe they were like, hey, bro, don't worry about it. We got it. We got this defensive side. You go ahead and take care of the scoring. Maybe that's like a real thing. Ask Carmelo Anthony. He knows all about that. He's going to be okay. He will get better. There's 82 games in the season for him to get better. Pop will demand him to get better. That is the difference. Repetition, demanding that type of effort from him on the defensive end. Because you know what, Spurs fans, we know good defense turns into better offense. Transition basketball. Get that turnover. Get it out on the break. And let's go get easy buckets. DeMar DeRozan can get easy buckets. So don't worry about his defensive side. It will come. Guys, we were 3 games away from being the 3rd seed in the West. We know how wild it is out here. One game can make, pretty much the 5th through the 8th seed, 9th, 10th seed are all decided by 1 or 2 games when it's all said and done. If we won 5 more games last year, we would have been the 3rd seed in the East. Do you think, and guys, we were there without Kawhi Leonard. Without the best player in the world, we still won 47 games. If you think the Spurs aren't going to be a top 5 seed, you're crazy. You're sipping on that crazy juice. That moonshine. Grandpa's old cough medicine. Listen, we're going to miss Kyle Anderson. We're going to miss Danny Green. We're going to miss Tony P. Tony, from the bottom of our hearts, we're going to miss you very much. Very much we're going to miss you, Tony. But is this a better team right now than we were assembled last year? Yes, hands down, no doubt. There is no doubt about it. So we will be okay when it comes playoff seeding time. Now, I'm going to miss Manu. Manu, please don't go. Please don't go. Don't go. I really want you to stay. But Manu, if you got to go, you got to go. I don't want to see Manu come back and, get hurt or anything like that. I love him too much. I just love him too much. Guys, I think the biggest loss that we suffered this season, besides Kawhi Leonard, but you know what? We pretty much didn't have the guy anyway all this season. So let's just forget about Kawhi, okay? Danny Green, we're going to miss the shit out of you because of his defensive paralysis, his defensive intensity, his nasty on that defensive end. Oh, man. It's no secret that Danny Green didn't shoot a lot of, he hasn't been shooting that well for the past 3 years or so. It's no secret. But, guys, when it comes to regular season basketball, ask the Rockets. Defense doesn't matter. Or ask Mike D'Antoni. Defense doesn't matter. It's all about scoring in the regular season. You want that top 1 seed in the West, you're going to have to outscore people. And then worry about defense when it comes playoff time. See, that's where things are going to change for us. Guys, we are a good defensive system team. Our help side is always there. Our rotations off of help are always there. We'll hedge and recover. Our closeouts are good. that is the good thing about San Antonio Spurs defense, is that it's not relied on one player. It's accountability. It's about, you know what, man, you go ahead and chase this guy off the 3-point line, because you know what, I'm going to be there to get your back and help. Okay, so that's the whole thing. We're going to be all right. But let me tell you what, you take out Danny Green, we're going to miss you, buddy. You take out Danny Green, who didn't really score the ball all that much from the past 2 or 3 years. But I'm not putting that on Danny Green's head. That was a role shift. There was a point, there was a meeting in the office where Coach Pop and RC sat Danny down. Danny, we know that we've been 3-point hunting for the past 2 or 3 years, and that's been really successful for us. But it's time to give the ball to Kawhi. Kawhi needs to take all the shots. So Danny, focusing even more on the defensive side of the ball. You know, work on your mid-range game a little bit, because most of the time it's going to be the Kawhi show and the LaMarcus show. So all those shots shifted, and Danny Green's, you know, shooting went way down because he didn't get a lot of opportunities. Okay, it's not his fault. But you take that away, you insert DeMar DeRozan, a guy who can score, a guy who can get by any defender, a guy that can get to the rim, shoot mid-range, and hit the occasional 3 when he needs to. A guy straight out of Compton who's going to be able to give you that grit and grind, that dirty, that nasty, that intensity in practice, that I want to lead, I want to be the captain. You put a guy like that in the Spurs system, oh my goodness, guys, it's going to be something crazy to watch. I know that when everybody in the whole world saw DeMar DeRozan and Pop working out at USA Basketball, everyone got a little bit scared. Everyone pee-peed themselves a little bit. Let's not lie. Everyone out there pee-peed themselves. They're like, oh my God, Pop has his hands on DeMar. Things are going to get a little bit crazy over here. He's about to take another step. Or just when you think there was no next level for DeMar, there's about 2 or 3. Just because he's now with the right organization that can actually show him the promised land. Anyways, I digress. DeMar DeRozan's scoring ability is going to be able to get us more wins. More scoring. More scoring. Scoring wins basketball games, okay? Now, the Spurs are going to have to kind of adjust and be patient with our defensive side of the ball. We're going to be patient, but Pop's still going to demand the same, because he knows that's what's going to win you a championship. All right, you got to be able to score the ball, yes, but you got to be able to defend. So if we're only 3 games away from the 3rd seed of the playoffs last year, do you think DeMar DeRozan can help us maybe get those 3 games? Those 3 or 4 games, maybe 5 games? Oh, you bet your ass he's going to make the difference. You can best believe that. Let's go ahead and have some fun, shall we? Let's get into a way too early, but way too fun early Western Conference playoff seeding. Let's do it. I'm gonna skip through some of the obvious stuff, okay? Don't kill me, because I don't get into why I think this and that. All right, let's keep it short and sweet, just like me, okay? Right off the top, Houston's not going to win as many games. Golden State's going to be just as good, if not better. So let's flip those 2. Golden State will be the 1st seed. Houston will slip down to number 2. In the 3rd spot, we have OKC. OKC's doing that whole addition by subtraction thing. Melo's gone. He was a problem. Insert a couple role players in here. You have enough scoring between your 2 megastars in Russell Westbrook and Paul George. That's a big plus in my eyes. So OKC finished in the 4th spot last year. They're going to move up 1. I see them winning a lot of regular season games. So we'll put them in the 3rd seed. In the 4th seed, moving on up to the west side, on up. Our boys from SA are back on top. That's right, San Antonio is going to move from the 7th seed from last year, and they're going to move on up 3 spots. Why? I already told you. They're going to win more regular season games this year than they did last year, and it's safe to say that OKC is going to move on up. So just because of the camaraderie thing with them, I see San Antonio falling to the 4th spot. We will have home court seating next season. I'll put money on it. Tweet me at Booking Spurs. In the 5th spot, we got Utah. Now, this is the one I'm not comfortable with. But Rob, Utah, beat OKC last year, and they have a young star in Donovan Mitchell, and he's a real deal. I agree with all the things that you just said, all of the above, but this is my wild card team. Why? It's they're very volatile over there. You guys know that having 2 successful seasons in a row is hard. It's hard enough when your first successful season was when your best star was a rookie, and now the second year you have their best defenders and everyone's strategizing to try to take away their now sophomore superstar. He's going to walk into this season with a big target on his back. Utah's a good team. If they can stay healthy, it might be a smart decision, or they may be a ticking time bomb and boom. But for the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to give Utah the 5th spot. In the 6th spot, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. Why? Because last year, the 6th spot finished with about 49 wins. Last year, the Lakers finished with 35 wins. So the question is, does LeBron get the Lakers 13 to 15 games better? Yeah. Okay, moving on. Now, the next 4 teams that I'm going to talk about, there's only 2 spots left in the playoffs. Now, the next 4 spots, it's just toss them up in the air. Whichever ones land right side up are going to get in the playoffs. But this is how I see it playing out. In the 7th spot, I have Denver. Denver has been a team that's been good enough, just not winning enough games in the regular season. They've been sniffing the playoffs for the last 2 or 3 years. I think this is their year to get in. Their young guns are better. They have more experience, added a few veterans here and there. Veterans who are hungry, like Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas needs the playoffs next year. He needs it to have a stage to prove that he's worth some more money so he can get paid. So I see that working out for them. Now, the 8th seed, my final playoff spot, is going to go to Portland. Portlandia is a pretty good show. I don't know if you've seen it. It's not bad. It's pretty funny. But they're going to have a big, hard fall from grace. Last year, they finished in the 3rd seed in the West. I don't see them making any improvements this offseason. And after being swept by New Orleans last year, I think it's all downhill. I don't think nothing's good coming from Portland. But I don't ever want to be that guy who counts out Damian Lillard. So I'll give them the 8th spot. And my 2 teams sitting outside of the playoffs were 2 teams that were in the playoffs last year. That's Minnesota and New Orleans. Okay, so now Minnesota has too many internal issues going on. I feel like in the beginning of the season, you're going to be able to tell those first 30 games, if they come out, stinking, and just being a big old pile of turds, then they're not going to make it. They're not going to be able to catch up, because once you slip behind, it's hard to catch up. And if Minnesota can't get their crap together, it could be the end of this kind of group, and maybe even the end of Tom Thibodeau over there in Minnesota. But if they can keep it together, if they do turn out doing good, I can see them stealing that 8th spot from Portland. Now, my team that is not going to get in, the one I have at number 10, is the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, it's not that I don't like them. I just feel like they're Anthony Davis or bust. If Anthony Davis has a streak in the season where he hurts his big toe and he's out for a few months or a few weeks even, they're going to slip a lot. I don't know if they're going to be able to catch up. What he did last year was amazing. It's somewhat of a different team, though, now than it was then. And I think that's a lot to put on Anthony Davis' shoulders. But, hey, he's one of the best players in the game. He can prove me wrong. So let's take it from the top. I think right off the bat, winning the West, Golden State. There's no surprise there. Okay. Coming in second, we have the Houston Rockets. In the 3rd seed, we have Oklahoma City. In the 4th spot, we have our Go Spurs Go San Antonio Spurs. And those are your top 4 home court advantages going into the playoffs. Now, in the fifth spot, taking on the San Antonio Spurs, I will have the Utah Jazz. In the sixth spot, taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder, I have the Los Angeles Lakers. Oh man, that would be so sweet to see LeBron go up against Russ in a playoff series. That would be so cool. I haven't thought about the matchups until now. That's kind of why I'm being amused. In the seventh spot, we have the Denver Nuggets. And that looks like Houston will be able to take care of them. And in the eighth spot, we have Portland, and that's going to be a sweep versus the Golden State Warriors. Minnesota and New Orleans looking in from the outside, but like I said, that 7 through 10 seeding is so tight that it might even come down to matchups on regular season wins and losses versus each other. So you just never know. But that's going to be it for a Bucking Spurs podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to follow us at Facebook and Instagram at a Bucking Spurs podcast, on Twitter at Bucking Spurs. Go to eavesdropstudios.com to check out our Bucking Spurs blog and all the other content coming your way. Eavesdrop Studios, guys, is in a kind of launching pad state where we're developing a lot of content. We just launched our Red Remote podcast, which is a Netflix series original content review. Okay, we're going to be reviewing all types of Netflix stuff, shows and TV shows and films, comedy specials and whatnot. And we got more coming your way from eavesdropstudios.com. So I really appreciate you guys subscribing, sharing the love. Okay, love you guys. Go Spurs, go.